I do not give up hope that Earendil will return with good news. I wait for him in Aqualondi, the haven of the sea elves, or Teleri. The people are all very kind and compassionate about my worries. I still fear for the lives of my sons. Earendil soon calls to me from outside the haven, and I run into his arms. We share a long, sweet kiss, and he speaks insistently to me.
The Valar wish to hold council in Valimar, and we are both meant to be present. There our fates will be decided.
I cannot prevent myself from flinching at the mention of fate. But my husband is smiling, and his next words reassure me.
The Valar are not angry, beloved. The council is to determine how we will live the rest of our lives.
I do not understand, I say hesitantly, but I will do as the Valar bid. I am awed by the sheer beauty of the city of Valimar. Its white stone walls, silver domes, and golden spires glitter in the rosy light of approaching sunset. Earendil, still wearing the Silmaril on his brow, leads me boldly forth. A tall, dark-haired figure comes to greet us, and Earendil and I bow to him. My husband murmurs to me that this is the Maya known as Yonwe, herald of Manwe. Yonwe guides us through the splendid city, which seems empty save for the three of us. At last, in a wide courtyard, we come to an imposing sight. A ring of standing figures, 14 in all. The Valar. Earendil and I drop to our knees in reverence, and the Valar smile upon us. A blue-clad lord bearing a sapphire sceptre, none other than Manwe himself, beckons us to come forward. I advance, in caution, but am greatly heartened by the kindly faces of those around me. I recognize Mandos, his dark eyes glinting like onyx stones in a pale face. His gaze is calm and benevolent as he steps forward to speak.
Kinsmen and kinswomen,
He says,
we are gathered here to decide the fates of Earendil, son of Tuor, and Elwing, daughter of Dior. Both are of half-elven blood, and both have beheld our shores. Therefore both must now make a choice, either to live in immortality and be counted among the Eldar, or to accept mortality and the lives of the Edain.
He turns his gaze first to me, and I fall into deep thought, weighing the consequences of either decision. After what seems to be many minutes, I find my voice and give my answer. I choose the life of the Eldar.
As do I.
Earendil concurs, his eyes locked with mine. Mandos nods once, smiling and stepping back.
Then so be it. You both shall be immortal.
Then a woman steps forward from Manwe's right side and speaks in a voice I know as the one that had bidden me to seek out my husband's ship. It is Varda who speaks, addressing my husband alone.
The choice is well made,
She smiles.
but your journey is far from ended, Earendil. We must go to Aqualonde, there to oversee what shall be your destiny for as long as we, the Valar, live.
What fate will be mine, my lady?
Earendil asks, staring uncertainly up at her. Varda's eyes half close mysteriously, and she grasps the hands of her husband in mine, as Manwe takes his herald's hand, and I hold Earendil's.
Come with us and find out.
How we arrive in Aqualondi I do not know, but as I open my eyes, I cannot remember closing them, I find that Manwe, Varda, Yonwe, Earendil, and I are standing on the quay, looking out over the sea. My husband's 3 companions stand on Vingilot's deck as it rocks gently at its mooring, gleaming in the fiery dusk. At a nod from the Valar, Yonwe beckons the mariners to the shore, where Earendil embraces them and kisses their brows, weeping openly. With this last farewell, the 3 then board a ship of the Teleri, and Manwe calls up a great wind from the west to send the vessel speeding back to Middle-earth and the realms where mortals dwell. My husband then boards his own ship and stands at the tiller. He looks over his shoulder and says,
My lady, you still have not told me what my fate will be.
Varda comes to his side, laying an ivory-white hand on his shoulder and staring deep into his eyes.
Your courage has earned you a great honor.
From this night forth you shall be known as a symbol of hope to all who behold you. It is the will of Manwe that you will be sent through the gates of night and into the heavens, aboard your ship and with the Silmaril, that its light may shine upon the world below as a star in the morning and the evening."
Earendil nods slowly, but voices a query as his gaze turns to me.
"What of Elwing? Has she leave to sail with me?"
If she so chooses,
replies Manwe benignly. My husband looks at me, his eyes beseeching. I know that he longs to be with me forever, and I know that it is also what I have desired, but to dwell in the cold void of the night, so far from the sea and the earth, and the winds that caress them, I fear I could not suffer that, and I confess it to him. He nods without a word, but I see tears fill his eyes. A sudden blur of movement catches my eye, and I turn and behold the other 12 Valar as they come into sight, first appearing as wisps of coloured smoke or flame, and slowly assuming bodily forms. They join with Manwe and Varda on the shores, forming a ring around Vingelot. They begin to speak in a strange tongue, all of them laying their hands upon their vessel's timbers, and their power rises and flows like an ethereal wind. Beneath their hands, the ship takes on a brilliant glow of its own, enhanced by the Silmaril on Earendil's brow. Before my awe-widened eyes, Vingelot rises slowly into the air. Earendil clutches the wheel to steady himself as the ship turns around without his effort. I stare mutely as the great vessel is borne up on a surge of pure Valyrian power and soars westward through the air over Aman. Yonwi takes my hand, and we in the Valar are swiftly overcome by the same force which brought us to this haven from Valimar. When we arrive at our new destination, I see that we are still beside a sea, not Belegir, the sea between Middle-earth and Aman, but what must be in the encircling sea which surrounds the world. The sky is lit rose and golden in the dying radiance of Anar, and Vingelot still sails high above, but descends slowly as we on the shores watch in silence. Before us all is a massive gate, wrought of what seems to be obsidian, ebony, and many other black substances. The entrance-way is shut for a moment, but slowly, silently, the enormous door swings open outward. Vingelot soars straight towards it, and Earendil stands boldly at the ship's tiller. He turns to gaze down at me, and I clearly see him weep as he waves a kiss in one last farewell. I return the gesture through my own tears, and Varda lays a gentle hand on my shoulder. We watch as the ship rises again, higher and higher, blazing in the dusk. The gates of night swing shut again, and I am silent.
"If it would please you,"
Varda says softly to me,
"my kin and I may build for you a tower beside Belegir, where you could dwell between the earth, sea, and sky which you love. From there you might fly to meet your husband as he soars above from west to east."
"That would please me," I answer, smiling and bowing. "Thank you, my lady." "Yes, my beloved, I will wait for you beside Aquilonde. Farewell is not forever. We will meet again, and all will be well. Your hope shall always live in my heart. Fly freely, Earendil."